Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Brook and I'm hosting my classmate Brook today. We will learn how Brook spent her service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Brook, you mentioned that you volunteered through the Sunshine Society. What is the Sunshine Society?
The Sunshine Society is a high school organization that is filled with girls who come together to volunteer and do good in the community. At the beginning of the year, we put together this drive-by parade for the residents of the Golden Meadows nursing home. We decorated cars with posters and balloons, and we had a bunch of fun.
What was your experience volunteering for Salvation Army?
It was pretty good. I woke up pretty early and I went to Walmart. It was cold and it was snowing, but it was still pretty fun. I got to ring bells and greet the people who walked in and out of the store for about 2.5 hours.
All right. What were some reactions you got among the people you interacted with?
Some people who would be walking in or walking out would say Merry Christmas or Good Morning. Some would also respond with thank you when I would say Merry Christmas or Good Morning to them too. While others, they wouldn't respond and barely make eye contact and just walk in and out of the store.
How did you feel after you volunteered?
After I volunteered, I got a sense of successfulness because I felt like I was actually doing something to make a difference for people's lives. I also felt a little bit courageous because I'm a pretty shy person who doesn't talk a lot, and I got out of my comfort zone to talk to a bunch of strangers who would walk inside and outside of the store. I was also pretty thankful when I was done for the things that I have that I realized others don't. Like the people who will be receiving these donations don't have money for food or are homeless.
What made this a good experience for you?
This was a great experience because I was actually able to help make a difference in people's lives who are struggling right now with money. And me raising this money means that they don't have to live on the streets or wonder how them or their families are going to eat. It was great to know that at least one of the people in the 130 plus countries the Salvation Army helps will be overjoyed and extremely grateful for this donation they will receive. It also is great knowing that I'm making a difference for people in the community and all around the world, and I hope that others will make the same choice that I did and not only volunteer through the Salvation Army, but through other organizations, not only around the state or the community, but around the world.
Well, thank you, Brooke, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today. Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Brook and I'm hosting my classmate Alyn today. We will learn how Alyn spent her service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Alyn Adams, tell us about the company you served for.
Well, I volunteered at the Unfailing Love Clinic for a fundraiser that was, taught by my aunt, I guess you could say. They were doing a painting class, and they painted willow trees. But anyways, back to the point. Thriving gave us an action team card that donated $250 to members to raise money for a cause. I don't know exactly what cause, but I know I got to help them with that.
What did you do during your work?
I gave people new paint, paper towels, and water, and I just made sure everybody had everything in order and that they didn't want any food or something to drink.
What mix of feelings did you have while serving?
I felt very proud and amazed. I was proud knowing that I got to help somebody. I bet it was more than one person, but it was amazing knowing I got to help them. And I was amazed to see that everyone was painting the same thing, but it all came out differently. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They just maybe they messed up a little bit on the color, but it was still beautiful in its own way.
What kinds of people did you help?
I don't know exactly who, but during the passing out the paint and everything, I helped people of all ages, ranging from seniors to maybe 10 or 11.
Tell us about the things you saw that made you feel like people were coming together.
Just seeing them interact with each other was one whole thing. Seeing everyone laugh and talk about the randomest things and how something so small as a painting class can amount to helping someone, like helping them pay their bills or helping them like get food to get them through the day or clothes or whatever they need. It's just amazing seeing how something that small can amount to something that big, and how everyone there was never a dull moment. Nobody stopped talking. Like, everyone was always talking. I mean, they stopped talking to, like, listen to what my aunt was saying, how, like, she was directing it, but, like, even when somebody messed up, like, there was a moment where we dropped the water, like, we weren't embarrassed. We all laughed about it, and it was fun.
That sounds fun. Well, thank you, Alyn, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Jenna Cook, and I'm hosting my classmate Branson Jordan today. We will learn how Branson spent his service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Branson Jordan, why would you recommend Mini 4-H?
Mini 4-H is a strong youth development program. Mini 4-Hers come in between kindergarten and third grade before they are considered in real 4-H. So the Mini 4-H kids come in, and us older members teach them about the animals and the quality of taking care of your animals to keep them and help them become better showmen. Mini 4-H is an organization that teaches you life skills and...
Nice. What was the most important thing you learned?
The most important thing I learned doing Mini 4-H was that you have to explain things very well to the little kids, and you have to do things slow, because if you do not do things slow, the kids don't understand. Then you have wild kids that aren't understanding and won't sit down and concentrate.
Nice. Why do you want other people to do Mini 4-H?
I want other people to do Mini 4-H so the little kids, when they come in, that they learn how to be young adults and how to succeed in life. When I did Mini 4-H, it helped me tremendously on learning the different parts of animals, learning how to work with your animals, take care of your animals, and it even helped you with my public speaking. Now, as a Royal Ambassador, I can do all of my public speaking very well. So I want these kids to be very involved in Mini 4-H.
Good. From a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your experience and why?
I would rate my experience an 8. It was very fun, and I was kind of stressed out too, because I had to be there early in the morning to make sure everything was set up and ready to go for when the kids came in. And then I was also stressed out because the kids were didn't know what they wanted to do. I also had kids that wanted to stay with their parents and didn't want to leave. So I kind of had to be calm, and I was kind of stressed out. And then it was also very fun too, being with the little kids, helping them learn about something that I love strongly.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel really good. I did something that I loved, and then I knew that the kids were also loving with animals and projects, because not all kids do 4-H for animals. There is some kids that do stuff for the projects too. So I kind of got to do both and help the kids out. 4-H isn't just all about animals, because there is some people that just think 4-H is just for making money on the animals, but we don't want to disclude the kids that have projects too, because we want 4-H to be centered around everything, projects and the animals. So it just was an overall great experience helping out both sides of the 4-H community.
Well, thank you, Branson Jordan, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today.
Thank you.
Welcome to Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Grace Fisher, and I'm hosting my classmate, Mia Thompson. Today we will learn how Mia spent her service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Mia, what organization did you work for?
Adams Central Band.
Mia, did you volunteer with anyone?
No, I did not.
How many hours did you serve?
4.
What was your favorite thing about your volunteer work?
The rewarding feeling you get when a student finally gets something right that you've been teaching them.
If you could go back in time, would you have chosen to do the same thing for your volunteer work?
Yes, I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
What did you think was the most beneficial for you when you were volunteering?
Learning how to better teach students in band.
How many kids did you teach?
2 6th graders.
Is teaching the kids to play instruments when you get older something you want to do?
Yeah, I want to be a band director when I get older.
Do you want to work at AC or a different school?
Probably a different school.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mia, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project podcast. My name is Colton Littler, and I'm hosting my classmate Raya Davis today. We will learn how Raya spent her service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Raya, what was the best part of your experience?
Helping people, and it makes them happy because they don't have to be stressed about their late work and quizzes.
Would you stop the tutoring whenever they got all their work caught up?
No, I would help them with their quizzes and their homework for the lesson of the day.
So, when tutoring, did you keep them in class or where did you go?
In class, because the teacher wouldn't let us go anywhere else because we need adult vision.
Okay. How will you get people to volunteer or tutor?
I'll put up signs around the hallway and make it appealing to the eye so people can draw attention to the poster so they can sign up for it.
So, how many kids did you tutor and what were their age ranges?
I tutored one student and they were like 17 or 18.
Okay. So, are they still in high school?
Yes.
Okay. So, how many hours did you serve?
Half an hour every day or whenever we had algebra.
Okay. So, you said this was an algebra class?
Yeah.
Okay. How many days did you do this?
Every A day.
Okay. So, thank you to Raya for sharing your freshman volunteer project with us today. Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project podcast. My name is Colton Liller, and I am hosting my classmate Kimberlee Strong today. We will learn how Kimberlee spent her service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Kimberlee, what exactly did you do?
I gave 4 6th graders private lessons to learn their instruments and band, which were saxophone.
What was it like serving these hours?
It was frustrating, but it did go by really fast because we only had like 45 minutes to do it because it was during their SAP during my 5th period. So,
How did you feel whenever you were serving?
Inspired to learn more stuff about my instrument, to continue to grow myself, and to continue to teach other students, not just about saxophone, but other instruments.
So, what was it like helping these 6th graders?
It was very hilarious at sometimes because they were funny, and obviously I'm not very mature, so I goof around with them. But whenever it was time, we did really get to the point, and they learned a lot.
So, what is a metronome?
A metronome is a device that makes a beeping sound at different paces, so if you wanted to go like a slow legato piece, a largo, I don't even remember, it would be maybe 80 beats, 80 to 100, but if you really wanted like an upbeat, it'd be 200, or maybe 180, it depends.
So, how long have you been in band?
I've been in band 4 or 5 years. I started in 5th grade. I started playing clarinet, but then I switched to saxophone because we didn't have any in our grade because she moved away to Florida. So now I play saxophone.
Do you enjoy band?
For the most part, it gets really frustrating at some points because not everyone will put in the same effort as everyone else.
What do you think the best part of you being band is?
I like to be a leader. I like to help other students.
So, thank you, Kimberlee, for sharing your freshman volunteer project with us today.
You're You're welcome, Colton.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Damian Vergara, and I'm hosting my classmate Paul Davis. Today we will learn how Paul Davis spent his service hours required for the graduation at Adams Central. Paul, where did you serve?
I volunteered at Fort Wayne Animal Care Control. I volunteered there because I liked animals and I wanted to help them.
Who did you ask to volunteer?
I volunteered with two other people. I didn't catch their names because I didn't feel like asking them. Volunteered with two other people at Fort Wayne Animal Care Control.
What were the other people like? What did you do?
We went through, cleaned cages, we fed the dogs, and so it went through, mopped the floors. And so there's also cats there too, so we cleaned dogs and cats.
Did you like any of the dogs or something in there?
Yeah, so I like, and so the dog, and so there's a lot of puppies, and so there's some older dogs too, and so I like the puppies, and so they were playful.
What problem do you think you helped fight volunteering? What you did?
Well, I went through and cleaned up the dogs and cats, so I helped them make them look presentable to other people, so people could take them home.
Why'd you volunteer, or would you volunteer there again?
Yeah, I would volunteer there again because it's just sad seeing a bunch of helpless little animals there, animals and older animals being there and no one else to take care of them.
How do you think us as a community can help the people and the animals there with that problem?
Well, I think if people stop leaving their animals on the side of the roads or just not taking care of them, they could help by that. And then by donating money, like dog food, cat food, give them stuff to clean the animals.
Since you mentioned you didn't like seeing animals in that state before, do you have any pets or animals?
Yes, I have. Okay, so I have a golden retriever. His name's Leo. He's 6 years old. I have a rabbit. Don't know what type of breed he is. His name is Willow. I think he's either 4 or 5. I have a Shih Tzu. He is 5 years old. His name's Jake. I have a bearded dragon. Well, 2 bearded dragons. One's named Mushu. She's a year old. And then one is named Toothless. He is, I think, a month or 2 old. Somewhere around there.
Have you had all of them since they were babies, or have you just recently got them?
We've had all of them since babies except Jake. He came up to my grandma's door, and he was abused when he was a puppy. And we found him and adopted him when he was around 2.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Athena Schwartz, and I'm hosting my classmate Zane Bard today. We will learn how Zane spent his service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Zane, what year was the Alyn County SPCA established?
The Alyn County SPCA was established in 1956.
What is the main goal of the SPCA animal shelter?
The Alyn County SPCA says they promote the prevention of cruelty to animals.
What were some of the tasks that you did while you were volunteering?
The task that I did was went to the store, bought cat food and dog food, and went up to the shelter and waited for them to give them the food.
How did you feel when you were volunteering?
I felt proud and happy because I like animals and I never like seeing them be sad or sick for a while, and I just want them to get better.
What did you do other than drop off the food?
I gave them toys and looked at some of the animals and played with them.
Why did you choose to do your volunteer hours at an animal shelter?
I chose this because I like animals, and I like especially dogs, because I never want them to be hurt or sad, because I would never want a dog to be left on the road.
How do you think the puppies really felt whenever you went to help them?
I think they felt happy to see someone, because usually they don't get to see anyone because they're usually in the kennels, or during visit hours they get to see them. So,
How long did you play with them for?
Play with them for a little bit.
Well, thank you, Zane, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today.
Where are the two organizations located?
The two organizations, I would say, would be clubs, in my opinion, that I did. The first one is the 4-H Adams County Monroe Country Kids, that is located right next door, down the road, that is run by my aunt and uncle Stan and Tammy Becker. And we have a bunch of kids that go there. That we're a small community. We all know everybody. My friends go there, my cousins. We're a rowdy bunch. And then the next club I do is the 4-H Adams County Goats Club, and it's run by Amy Hershey, and she has 3 lovely boys and her husband Nate. We're a good group.
When did you do each project?
I did the 4-H Club Country Kids in spring. I arrived there at 7 p.m. I just showered. I ran down the road. I knew I was late. But then I got there and I was like, oh, this is good. We're fine. And I saw my friend Haley, and she waved at me. I was so happy. She goes to South Adams. And then the 4-H Adams County Goat Club, it took in the beginning of summer. I arrived there at 6:30 in the dining hall. That's where we always have the meetings. But instead there, we went to the 4-H grounds where they set up the goat pens. That's what we did. We set them up so then the goats would have a nice, safe environment.
How many years has the Goat Club been around?
The Goat Club, I would say, has been around for 35 plus years. It's been a long time. It's been around really long. Amy has been in it since she was a little kid, and also the 4-H Adams County Monroe Country Kids has been around probably 30 plus years. Even my grandpa has been in it, but I think it had a different name, and it transferred.
What were you feeling when doing this project?
I was a little nervous at first, but then I was joyful since I got to work with everyone and make the world a little cleaner, fix the pins, have a nice, new, safe, environment for them. So,
what did you like about this project?
I liked being with the people I know, because I know I could trust them. I gained teamwork and more confidence. I got out of my comfort zone, but I grew more. I came confident, and I got to make everything clean bit by bit for the people and the animals, and I loved working with them. It was enjoyable, so thank you.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Lindsay Collier, and I'm hosting my classmate Jozie Zimmerman. Today we will learn how Jozie spent her service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Jozie, what organization did you do your volunteer hours for, and what did you do?
I did my volunteer hours for Monroe Youth League. I changed dates on raffle tickets. The raffle tickets were coupons to places. We changed the dates on them due to COVID last year. They couldn't do the raffle tickets since the season was canceled, so they utilized last year's for this year.
How did you feel while doing your volunteer work?
I felt really stressed because we procrastinated a lot on doing these tickets. and I felt unfocused because I was at my house doing these volunteer hours, and there was a lot of things in my house that I could have rather been doing, but I couldn't since I had to sit there and do those tickets, and I had to do them all in one sitting since we procrastinated.
Did you take any breaks throughout the day? If so, what did you do?
We sat for 7 hours doing these tickets, and we took one break for about 10 minutes, and we kind of just stretched and talked so we weren't sitting there for that long amount of time without a break. And we did eat some pizza while we were doing it, but we didn't take a break from the tickets. We were just eating while we did the tickets.
Why did you pick to do this as your volunteer work?
I didn't exactly choose to do this certain volunteer work. I chose to do hours for the Monroe Youth League, but they chose what I did. I was expecting to just clean up around the Ball Diamonds and help them get ready for the new season, but they gave me the raffle tickets. We had to change dates on 8,000 raffle tickets.
Would you recommend this volunteer work to other students? If so, why?
I wouldn't really recommend doing the certain raffle tickets. Like, I wouldn't recommend anyone to do that, but I do recommend going through the Monroe Youth League if you need to do your hours, because they're just a really good organization, and they're really welcoming and understanding, and yeah.
Would you say you had a favorite memory, and if so, what is it?
Favorite memory in general of playing at the Monroe Youth League?
Yeah.
My favorite memory was probably minor league, honestly, because we were a really good team in minor league, and we won some championships. And having my dad as my coach probably was the highlight of Monroe Youth League.
What would you rate your overall experience throughout this process?
I would rate it a 3. I would rate it a 3 because being with my friends made it a lot better. I had 2 friends there doing the volunteer with me, but I just didn't like the experience because it was just super overwhelming.
Well, thank you, Jozie, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Damian Vigera, and I will be hosting my classmate Isabel Morales' podcast today. And we will learn how Isabel spent her service hours for graduation at Adams Central. Isabel, where did you serve?
I served here at Adams Central, and I wrote letters.
How did you feel whenever you wrote in the letters?
It honestly made me feel happy to read that people are okay and happy during COVID, and yeah.
Did you get any letters back?
I got 5 letters back.
And you got 5 letters back. How many people did you write to?
I wrote to 6 people. 1 person didn't write back, and I got 2 letters from 1 person.
How do you feel like you met their need?
I feel like I met the need by making the others happy, and yeah.
Can you read some of the letters real quick? What letters you got back?
Sure. This one's from Naomi. I won't say the last name. Dear Isabel, it was very nice to get a letter from you. Thank you. I am glad that you have pets. I used to have a dog and a couple of cats. I know it is so wonderful to be able to talk with them. I spent many years on a farm and really enjoyed it. Now I live in town and I am happy also. I have many friends and I get to see them often. I really appreciate getting your letter. I'll read my second one now. This one's from Fred. Dear Isabel, it sounds like you are a very active girl and enjoy outside activities. I'm 90 years old and have been living at Swiss Village Retirement Home for almost 6 years. Here are many activities here if you want to participate. Inside you can play pool, inside shuffleboard, card games, and other things. There's a nice outdoor court for shuffleboard when the weather is warm. My wife is in the retirement unit at Swiss Village. She doesn't remember much. I go to be with her every day for 2 hours and help her eat dinner. My apartment here is very nice. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, and living room. I hope you enjoy school and it will help you in your choice of what you want to do when you graduate. I will pray that God will help you in whatever you do. Have a great day.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Jenna Cook and I am hosting my classmate Preston Huffine today. We will learn how Preston spent his service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Preston, what exactly did you do for your volunteer service?
I wrote to the elderly.
What was the most challenging and rewarding part of your work?
The most rewarding and challenging part of my work is whenever the guy wrote back. And it just made me feel accomplished, made me feel really good, made me feel like, it made me feel really accomplished, and it made me feel like I did a good deed for the elderly in our community. And also they wrote back to me, which made me feel a lot more accomplished. I got a letter today, and I have it here with me. I'm going to read it. Dear Preston, I enjoyed hearing from you. Yes, I live in a retirement home. I like living here. I have my own apartment. I have a beautiful view of a pond. Right now, there is a goose sitting on the nest of my other side of the pond. I'm glad you have a dog. What is his name? We are not allowed to have pets here, but that's okay because I would rather have flowers. Trust you are doing well in your studies. Sincerely, Marie.
Okay, that was very nice of her to do. The elderly need care for and comfort to relieve anxiety. What did you find on that in your research?
I found it makes them feel like they're still in the community, and it makes them feel like they were left out, and that creates anxiety.
What was your drive and effort to write to these elderly people who needed a friend?
So I can get my service project done, and I thought it sounded like a good deed to do, and I felt like it made me a better person.
It says you got a response from one person. How did it feel to know that someone cared enough to write back?
It felt really nice, and I have the response with me here right now, and I'm going to read it. Dear Preston, I have lived in a retirement community for 14 years. We moved here younger than many couples do because my husband had many problems with his back and could no longer deal with the yard work. He eventually got lung cancer but never smoked. He died almost 2 years ago. I am so glad I am here because I have many friends to visit with and there are so many activities I can do. I volunteer in the gift shop. I love to read and we have a great library. I knit and I do visitation for our church. We have 3 children, 6 grandchildren, and 10 great-grandchildren. I have no pets since they aren't allowed here. My husband was a minister, and I am a retired RN. We are married almost 59 years when we died. We both graduated from Byrne High School and started dating in 1956. I can send this letter to Miss Schoaf. I pray you have good friends and you are part of a good church. Sincerely, Bonnie.
Well, thank you, Preston, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Braden Moon. I'm hosting my classmate, Gabe Boucher. Today, we will learn how Gabe spent his service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Gabe Boucher, who did you work with? What did you do?
I'm not sure if I would call it working with them. However, I wrote to the elderly that lived specifically at Swiss Village.
What caused you to choose this?
It was due to my lack of choices. I didn't have the time to go anywhere or the transport to take me anywhere to volunteer.
How did you feel during the volunteer work?
I felt curious at first as to how they lived and what they were like. And afterwards, I felt kind of amused, knowing what they did and how they spent their time.
Would you recommend this to others? Why or why not?
Yes, I would recommend this to others. The elderly really need to are very susceptible to the outbreak currently, and they're the most at danger. They don't really get much social time during this, as they're quarantined. So, and it's something quick and easy that people can do. So, yeah.
Why would or wouldn't you personally do this again?
I wouldn't do this. I have lots of work to do, both at home and at school. I could be spending my time getting better myself, and there are plenty of other people who can do this, which I do recommend.
Well, thank you, Gabe, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today.